next story made headlines around the world when an investigative journalist created a fake Facebook profile posing as a young woman interested in joining the terrorist group ISIS. Her goal was to expose how the online recruitment techniques of that group were luring disillusioned European teenagers to the Islamic State. But both the personal and professional path it led her down was way more than she bargained for. It's a gripping story and the inspiration for the new movie, Profile.
He's calling.
And I'm going to record it all.
Assalamu alaikum, my sister. Tell me about you. You're beautiful.
In the beginning, he would be testing the waters. He's a hunter. He wants to seduce me first.
I love you!
Only then will he give me a guide into the recruitment process.
Come here. I'll give you everything you need.
A whole new life, a very happy one.
You have to believe me, it's paradise.
In real life, it was a French journalist behind that scoop, and while it was a story of a lifetime, it also marked the beginning of a personal nightmare when ISIS threatened her life, forcing her to live in hiding and even change her name. Now going by Erelle, Anna joins us. For her safety, she's chosen to keep her camera off during our conversation. Anna, thank you so much for joining me. I know these are extraordinary circumstances, and actually, this is a first for the Tamron Hall show. We've not had to conceal someone's identity. Tell me about the threat that you feel right now. How afraid are you for your life even now?
To be honest, I don't feel afraid now. I know that there is a risk, and I know that I have to care every time, every minute. But I feel okay, and where I am in France, I feel very, safe.
But your safety still comes with what we're doing now, having to conceal your identity. So that sounds to me as if there is still obviously some concern.
Yes, there's still some concerns, a lot. It's complicated because you know that there is a risk. You know that I'm very sorry. You know that there is a risk. You know that the risk can be very dangerous, but you cannot know if the risk is tomorrow or if it will be in 10 years, and this is very difficult. But at the time, all the jihadists from Daesh who frightened me, they are all dead now. So I know Daesh is a very it's an organization very, very strong, and they have a lot of memories. But I hope for me, and I hope for the best, that for the moment, for me, it's okay.
This started when you created an online persona of a young,
yes,
newly converted Muslim woman named Melody. You created this persona. What was the goal that you set out with this reporting or this story? What did you want to accomplish?
Because at the time, I had trouble to understand why young European people went to Syria, and what it was telling about our society. So I created a fake Facebook profile under the name of Melody. She was a 20 years old recent convert to Islam. And during the course of my investigation, I made the contact with a lot of terrorists from Daesh, but also with Abou-Bilel, a notorious Islamic State fighter, who asked me to travel to Syria to be his wife, and things didn't finish very well. But I learned a lot about Islamic State, and that was my goal at first. So for me, it's good.
When we return, we'll have more with Anna, as well as the actors who've helped bring her story to the big screen. The movie is called Profile, and the team behind it will join us along with Anna next.
I've been doing jihad for a long time, but we'll talk more about that when you get here.
How long have you been in Syria?
1 year. Before that, I did other things.
What things did you do?
Who's calling you?
I'm sorry. My sister was calling you. What things were you doing in Syria?
I don't want to talk about that over the internet.
Why? You can talk to me.
There's spies, journalists everywhere. I need to keep some things for when you get here.
I am back having a conversation with French journalist Anna Erelle, who went undercover to infiltrate ISIS to expose their recruitment techniques. That was a clip from the new movie Profile, which tells Anna's story. The actors who brought it to life are with us as well. Valene Kane, who portrays freelance journalist Amy Whitaker, and Shazad Latif, who plays the character Abou-Bilel, a notorious ISIS recruiter. Both join us now. Valene, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. I have to tell you, when you saw this script, first of all, were you familiar with the headlines, or did you learn the story from the script?
I mean, I think we were familiar with what was happening in Europe at the time, not the specificity of this story or Anna's story, but it was in the news quite a lot about young girls from all over Europe going to join ISIS. But when I got the script, and then I was told that it was based on the book of Anna's book, then, I mean, Anna's book was just a godsend, you know. But it was also frightening. Yeah. But I wasn't aware of Anna's story.
Well, to your point, I mean, you know, all around the world, we would see these reports of young girls, you know, eventually found in Syria or were trying to cross over and being recruited. And I think what this film captures really, in addition to Anna's book, the manipulative tactics. So often, Valene, we ask, how is this possible? How could you be lured in? And that is exactly what you do in this film. You connect the dots for people to understand how it happened.
We were able to watch some of the real-life Skype interviews because Anna amazingly had recorded them. So before we started shooting, we were able to see how manipulative and charismatic Abou-Bilel actually was. And I could really start to understand why what happened and how these girls can so easily be recruited, because there is so much charm behind it.
And Shazad, to that point, you play Bilal, a real person, a real recruiter. And that's what we see. It looks from a strange perspective like any other guy trying to hook up with a girl on social media, except in this case, he is a murderous terrorist, which is so hard to wrap your mind around. But that's exactly how it went down.
Yeah, I think that the most interesting thing is that he somehow is, what we try to do is make him somehow relatable and find those intricacies which you see in their Skype conversations. That sort of, he has this childlike sensibility, which I sort of noticed in one of the few videos I saw of him was his mannerisms of someone you want to hang around with, you want to cook with, you want to watch him play football, you want to do these little very human things. And speaking to Anna, obviously it was surprising. You go, yeah, I actually, I don't want to speak for her, but I fell in love with this guy in a sense. And you were wanting to capture that weird sort of pattern of seduction, then blurring the lines, and then seeing how it played out, which is just so fascinating and such a very specific...
It is, and when you think about the research that she put in, and all hour long we've been talking with investigators who go undercover as actors, you in some ways go undercover and studying and researching the person, particularly if they're a real life person that you are about to portray. But Shazad, I mean, when you think about the risks associated with this story and what she did, how do you describe it?
I mean, it's just mind-blowing what she actually went. I mean, picking up that book and then the fact is you see some of what we had to work from was some of that actual things they said to each other. So you're seeing the patterns of how they spoke to each other, and that is something you don't get to see every day, or and it does end up becoming this mad story that you can, it's a way in, especially for us actors, it's a way in, and for everyone who gets to see the movie, it's just one of those very strange, mind-boggling stories and things that people need to see, really.
Anna, you are still here with us, and I know you realize the great admiration everyone, including the actors, have for you and the work that you've done. Was it worth it when you look back at what you experienced and what you exposed? Was it worth it now still being in hiding to some degree?
Yes, it was worth it because I did my job. I learned a lot, and when families thanked me after, even if it's only one family, and tell me because of your book, because of your work, my kids didn't go to Syria as you planned to. Yes, I have really. There is no going back, and I'm okay with that, really.
You are now happily married. You have a family. You referenced the family of the young families that you spoke with, of young women who fell into this dangerous world. Um, do you believe through your reporting, more than anything, you were able to humanize these young women so that they were more than just a headline? They were more than people we assumed things about. They are now human through what you experienced.
Yes, because it was the point of my investigation. It was all these girls that I known before, and they were very far of religion and far of this kind of story with war. And when I saw her a few years ago, few years after, sorry, they wanted to go for to Syria for multiple reasons. First, they are girls who are maybe too naive, and they really think they will help the population. And there is other kind of girl who have been a lot of who wants to go to Syria or Iraq because they think they will make a good marriage wedding and become somebody very important. So no, I did this book for that reason. So I really always think about those girls, and you can call me a fool, but when I had to finish the investigation, I was very afraid to let down Melody. I was very. I feel sad to let down her.
Valene, knowing that this is at its heart a story layered, though, but layered around young girls, layered around women, and knowing that Anna, this brave female reporter, put her life at risk, and here you are now bringing this story to light for others to see in a different capacity. How do you feel about what Anna has done and her work?
I just think that she's an incredible woman. As I told her when we watched the movie together in Berlin, I mean, I thought it was incredibly special to play someone as brave as Anna. I think when I was young, I always was obsessed with investigative journalists. There was something so exciting about. I mean, it's something similar to what we do as actors. You put yourself in a position where you believe that you are one of the tribe, and she put herself in a position and put herself in a dangerous position. So I felt honored to play her, and I think it was really important that we tell this story.